GCSB, let us have our privacy. GCSB, let us have our privacy. GCSB, let us have our privacy.
Receiving information, then one place you can do it is the Global Peace and Justice Auckland website. Global Peace and Justice Auckland is just one of the groups, one of the many groups that's been involved in this. And I've been also involved in that, and we do a weekly newsletter, and we have events and what's on, and links to articles that can help educate yourselves and others about what's happening in this country and around the world. So just go to gpja.org.nz, gpja.org.nz. I got to say, welcome to everybody here today, and again, please give yourselves a round of applause. We only had a couple of weeks of this put together, a little bit of Facebooking, a little bit of email, a little bit of the things they want us to be scared of using, actually. We are using some of the things that they want to monitor in order to organise opposition to what they're doing. And part of the monitoring, part of that desire to monitor is actually to intimidate. It's to make us fearful about exercising our simple democratic rights of communicating and organising against it. These organisations, these security and political police, and that's what they are, that's all they've ever done, these security and political police are designed to protect the status quo. They're designed to protect the establishment as it is. They're designed to protect the inequality, discrimination, and all the rest of the shit that goes on. And they want to continue it. They don't want it to end, and they don't want you knowing what's happening. That's what it's all about. But we have seen there is a changing mood, not only in this country, but around the world. People will not put up with this. They will not put up with the continuing inequality. They will not put up with the continuing oppression. And we see millions of people in Egypt, millions of people in Brazil, hundreds of thousands in many other countries of the world, and they're using their Facebook, they're using their Twitters, they're using whatever means that they can, and it's a wonderful thing. And it's not something that should be abused by these security apparatus. We have had decades of spying in this country by these security intelligence, so-called security intelligence service. I have been involved for too long, some 4 decades in different activities, different movements, around the anti-apartheid movement, around the anti-nuclear movement, and all of those movements were spied on. All of those movements that became the majority, that helped advance democracy here and in South Africa, around the world, they were spied on and intimidated by the powers that be at that time. Nelson Mandela, the man who the world is acknowledging and recognising for what he was done, was called a terrorist by the Prime Minister of this country, Robert Muldoon. Under our current laws, and the United States government, the United States Senate, passed a law defining the African National Congress as a terrorist organisation. That was the law of the United States. Under the law today in the United States and in New Zealand, an organisation like the African National Congress, which they can term a terrorist organisation, then more support for that organisation, as John did in the 80s, as I did, campaign to support, is an illegal act. It's an act that can subject you to spying. It's an act that they are trying as part of that intimidation. They released SIS files on dozens of people during the anti-terror movement, anti-apartheid movement in this country. They used the SIS spying to try to discredit individuals for opposing our relationship with apartheid South Africa. There is a history of it. I have been the subject of that, have lost jobs because employers were informed of my political views. I have seen friends subject to that same intimidation, but as I said before, in one sense it's sort of almost sad in a way, because people like me, we expect to be spied on. It's a bit sad really, but we actually expect to be spied, even though we have done nothing illegal. Even though all we are doing is organising to change the laws and policies of the government of this country, we get to the sad position where we expect to be spied on. But again, I repeat, what this bill does is radically expand who they're spying on, because every single person, every single citizen of the planet becomes a subject of this network of spying that the GCSB is connected to and the Waihapai spy base is connected to. So I say, close them down. They don't need to exist. Just an announcement, there's a huge crowd in Parliament grounds as well today protesting against this bill. We had one instance of terrorism in this country, really, with the French. The French committed that act of terrorism. They are actually an allied agency of that lot. The SIS, they're all connected as part of international, there's a close network of the 5 Anglo-Saxon countries, the United States, Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom and New Zealand. Those are 5 real close-knit ones, and we're all part of essentially that United States network. But they're all mates, these people around the world. They all work with each other, they do the renditions, they do the torture, they do whatever else they do for people they don't like. But that agency organised a terrorist act in New Zealand, and the SIS was completely blind to what was happening. It was the police who caught those terrorists. The SIS was able to contribute nothing because they were spying on people like me. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Their eyes are directed in the wrong place. Their eyes are directed against the dissidents and people who are organising to oppose them. And it's an international spy network. The only use for it would be to... Actually, the wonderful thing, when you saw the balloon around the GCSB, around the Waihapai spy base, when those wonderful Catholic activists decided to deflate that balloon for a little while, the wonderful thing, I'm looking forward to the day we can close that thing down. It is not there to protect us, it's there to spy on us. It's not there to protect democracy, it's there to undermine democracy. That's the reality of the world that we are part of.
John Treen, the GCSB! Close down the GCSB! We demand democracy! Close down the GCSB!